Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back again to Geography. For today's geography lesson, we are going to find out what have we learned so far. Now, boys and girls, as I am speaking, please make sure that you are going over your book and you are turning the pages, finding out if everything that I have taught you thus far, you as well also have all of the notes and you have completed all of the activity. So while I'm talking and going over these slides, you as well are going over your book to check that you are currently up to date so that you know that when it's time for you to write the geography controlled test, you are 100% ready. Now, boys and girls, before we carry on, activity 3 answers. The last time we had geography, we learned about grid references, and I gave you a very short, easy activity to do. Now, please make sure that you do your corrections. They are currently up on the board. Please make sure that you do them. You mark them in pencil. Whatever you don't have, you give yourself a cross, and then you complete the corrections. Now, boys and girls, what have we learned so far? In the beginning of this term, these are the notes that I've handed out to you. Please make sure that you have these notes. We started off with map skills and what is a map, where we learned that a map is a drawing from above that shows us where places are. We also learned that we have 3 types of maps. We have maps of the world, maps of continents, as well as maps of countries. Then a very, very, very important, we just tried to find out, we also learned what maps actually show us. They show us cities, provinces, other maps can even show us rivers and mountains. Now, boys and girls, my notes are a bit faded, just a little bit, but these notes you were supposed to have stuck into your book and they were supposed to be highlighted. By my recalling, we didn't have an activity for this lesson because it was just an introductory lesson. Then the second week, after learning what is a map, we focused on side and plan views. Now, when we get these maps, obviously we need to know how to be able to read it. And in order for us to be able to know how to read it, we need to know what side and plan views are. In this lesson, we found out that a side view is what you see when you look at something from the side. So things like your buildings, your trees, and other people, we always see them from the side. We then learned a very, very important point about a plan view. A plan view is what you see when you look at something from above. Maps are drawings that look at places from above. That was a very important point. We did highlight notes on the sheet, and the sheet was stuck into your workbook. And then if you remember clearly, I also made the example that a bird flying over us, what view does that bird have of us? Very good, boys and girls. It has a plan view because it is above us. Anything you can look down on with your eye level, anything that you are above, you have the plan view of that item or thing. Now, boys and girls, after side and planned views, we also focused in on symbols and keys. These were the 2 very short, important points we had to copy down in the 3rd week of our geography lessons. A symbol is a simple picture or a letter that has a special meaning on a map. A key is a list on a map that explains what symbols on the map mean. Now, boys and girls, if you take a very close look at all of these lessons, and especially while we are doing this recap, you can automatically pick up that we learned what a map is, and then slowly I've been breaking it down for you. How to look and how to read the map, which view you are looking from the map, and now we also focused in on what each of those symbols and keys on that busy map that you might be looking at or that you have seen before. What do all of those mean? Now, boys and girls, these 2 short points are very, very important, and they will help you for a very long time, for as long as you are studying geography. And recently of late, we then focused in on grid references. Now, grid references, there was a worksheet that you were given either by myself or either by your class teacher, and you had to cut and paste this worksheet in. There was also an activity to complete. Now, when we did this worksheet, we also found out about grid referencing. Now, what map makers do is they put straight lines, which look like a grid, over a map in order to help you to be able to give direction. Now, we found out that grid references, we have letters on the left-hand side that are written in between the spaces, and then on the top of your map, you will always see the numbers. Now, in order for you to give a grid reference, you need to have a letter as well as a number. Without a letter or a number, you have not given me the grid reference. That activity 3 that we marked in the beginning of this lesson was part of grid references. Now, boys and girls, before we carry on with today's new topic, what I would like for you to do is either your teacher can stop and go watch the compass direction video first, or if you are at home, you can also pause this. You will come back to this video, but pause this and watch what compass direction actually means and what is it in its simplest form. Thank you very much, boys and girls, and I hope you enjoyed that video. It was very short, easy. It was a very short video. But now let's focus in more on compass direction. So after activity 3, please rule off. Compass direction is your heading and write today's date. Now, if you look on my screen on the top right-hand corner, my little pen and paper are moving, which means you have to copy down these notes. These are 3 short, simple points. Compass direction. Direction is the way someone or something is pointing or moving. Now, for us to be able to understand, we need to first understand what these words mean. Now, direction is the way someone or something is pointing or moving. A compass, on the other hand, is an instrument that shows us the direction. North, south, east, and west are the 4 main directions or points of the compass. These are the most important points you need to learn about compass direction. Before we can go into more in depth about this, just understand the basics. Boys and girls, after you're heading your date and these 3 short points, you are then going to complete an activity for me today. Now, today's activity, boys and girls, is a revision activity. For today's lesson, after your notes, the heading is going to be revision activity. Excuse me. Underline that revision activity heading and then complete the revision activity worksheet that is underneath this video. Ensure that you do answers only. Remember, history and geography is answers only. Now give yourself time. You do have the rest of the hour to complete this. We have a double period. So give yourself time, complete all of the answers, and know that you are prepared for your June controlled test. Thank you very much, boys and girls, for listening to my very long lesson today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will be talking to you again when we have geography.